What the heck even are lasers in Skibidi Toilet? Why do they lock onto targets? Why can Detainer pull G-Toilet's lasers apart? Let's investigate these weird strings of energy. Let's get the obvious out of the way first. Lasers in Skibidi Toilet don't work like real lasers. But Skibidi Toilet lasers are not just more powerful versions of the real thing. They are fundamentally different. In episode 32, the lasers actually don't appear too strange. They are thin and fast. We can see them stretch out from the source over the course of one frame. In episode 47, we can see how slowly all four lasers emit. We see G-Toilet's lasers retract back into the guns when Titan TV uses his kill screen. Bit strange, right? But this happens a lot. However, later on, when G-Toilet stops shooting of his own accord, they just fade out. In episode 68, Titan TV Man absorbed all the energy from this G-Clone's lasers. Again here, the lasers fade out rather than retracting in. What's interesting is that the clone did not expect the lasers to stop working. That means Titan TV Man was able to literally suck all the energy through the laser from the laser guns themselves, faster than would happen through normal use. This implies a substantial physical connection between the laser and its gun, more akin to a body and its arm than a bulb and its light. In episode 72, Detainer is able to grab G-Toilet's lasers and move or manipulate them, and also absorb their energy similarly to 68. It also seems that G-Toilet is unable to retract his lasers in this moment. In episode 75, our POV's weapon is pointing in one direction, but the laser itself is pointing in a completely different direction, almost as if the laser's current connection with the Astro Scout is dragging it around. Lastly, in episode 78, the Speaker Striders stop the lasers in their tracks with their sound, and as usual they then retract back to their source. So, here are the main aspects that differ from real lasers as we know them. And by the way, I know some of this is just due to it being easier to animate, but I'm just taking it how I see it. Firstly, they are slow. They emit from the weapon at a visible speed, which is of course much slower than light. Secondly, they expand outwards from the source as you would expect, but they often retract back in when stopping, which can only happen if the lasers are physically connected to their source. We never see the laser disconnect from the source. It either retracts or fades. Thirdly, the beam does not always point in the direction of the actual blaster. It's almost like they have some kind of pull or magnetism to the target. Just from how they look, they almost look liquidy. It's clear they aren't lasers in the real sense. This isn't an expulsion of energy from a source like a real beam. It's more like some kind of linked tube of energy that always connects with the weapon. The end of it can be moved and dragged around, and the end can be retracted afterwards. But why? Why are these lasers so alien? Well, because they are. The first laser guns appeared on the giant camo toilet in episode 32. This is a clear example of the scientist recreating astrotech on Earth. Alliance lasers work the same, so we may be able to conclude that they took a lil inspiration. In conclusion, while we call them lasers, they aren't lasers at all, and we can't assume they work like earthly lasers do. Subscribe.